Hello, my name is Andy Krieger, and I'm the inventor of the Krieger Method, a very simple 5-step program to make your foreign accent go away. I'd like to thank you for buying this DVD and showing that extra interest and initiative to try and make your life better. When you learn how to speak without your foreign accent, you will do a better job at work. You may have the opportunity to find a better job. You will learn how to speak so much better, to feel more confident about the way you speak. You will feel better about yourself. I know this is going to happen. Before I tell you what accent reduction is, I'd like to tell you how I discovered this method. Every part of the story, I hope, will help you understand what you are going to learn and do today. Of no importance to you, except when I was in high school, I was very active on student council. And I was making announcements at 3 o'clock on the PA, talking about dances and school activities. Often when I would walk down the hall at the end of the day, sometimes kids would come up to me and say, "Andy, where are you from?" I thought, what a silly question. Why would they ask where I'm from? As far as I knew, people from San Francisco and Vancouver, Canada, we all talk the same. Why would they think that I'm talking in a different way because they think I'm from somewhere strange? I never thought about it, but it will be an important part of the story. I was lucky enough to go back to San Francisco to go to Stanford University, where I studied history and geography, no accent reduction. I was ready to graduate, and a visitor came to Stanford to give a speech. His name was Sargent Shriver. He was the brother-in-law of President Kennedy, who had been assassinated. I loved President Kennedy, and I was very excited to see someone who was a member of his family. So along with 2,000 other students, we filled the auditorium. I think there were about 2,000 of us. And I remember this man talking about the Peace Corps. He was the head of the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps is and was a government organization to get volunteers like me to go to poor parts of the world and be teachers for 2 years. As he spoke, I remember sitting in my seat and thinking, I have never heard anybody speak like this. I was totally enamored, in love with the way that this man spoke. I just could not believe how wonderful I felt listening to him say the words. In a while, I'm going to talk about President Obama, because I think most of us feel the same way when we hear President Obama speak. Sargent Shriver spoke in exactly the same way. Here's what he said, and this is sort of the way that he spoke. He said, "You have a wonderful opportunity to do something with your life, to do something of value, to go to Africa, go to South Asia, go to South America and be a teacher for 2 years as a volunteer in small villages and large cities and help people who need your help. Do something that will make you feel good about yourself. Do something that will help others." And he went on and on. I remember, again, thinking so much of this speech that when it was over, I was, I believe, the first one outside, and I signed up to go to Ethiopia in Africa for 2 years. I didn't call my mother and father at home and say, "What do you think I should do?" I just went ahead and did it. all on the way that Sergeant Shriver was speaking. I was totally taken by the way he spoke. I didn't know then what it was. I have no idea what it was about the way he spoke, but it had a tremendous influence on me. I'm going to teach you today what I didn't know then. I'm going to teach you what it was about the way that this man spoke. Everything that I'm going to teach you has something to do with the way that Sergeant Shriver spoke. I went to Ethiopia, and I believe it was the second week. There was a knock on the door. One of my students appeared, a little boy by the name of Kadani. He said, "Mr. Andy, you are speaking too fast. We cannot understand you." So I realized then that I needed to speak more slowly. You've all received a 6-page sheet that accompanies this DVD. And I want you to look at number 1, which says, "Speak more slowly." So ever since many years ago, I have always tried to speak more slowly. I came back from Ethiopia, and I was a teacher in Vancouver, Canada for, I believe, 7 years, where I taught 7th grade and 10th grade, all subjects, also Canadian history. Late 1970s, I got married and moved to California. And in California, I had a job for 14 years where I was hiring extras for movies. I was an extra casting director. I hired extras for movies such as Pretty Woman. When Julia Roberts walks down Rodeo Drive, I hired all the extras who walked on the sidewalks and were the clerks who didn't speak, who waited on her in the stores. And I did Rocky IV and Star Trek The Next Generation and Back to the Future and Ghost and thousands of TV shows, movies, and commercials. That is of no importance to you except at lunchtime. I had the opportunity every day for 14 years to go to lunch to the Warner Brothers studio and watch movies being made. In the beginning, I was quite excited to have this opportunity, but after a while, I began to, I'll use the word, fall in love with the way that actors were speaking. I loved listening to the way actors were speaking as they made their movies. There was something very special. I didn't know what it was, just as I didn't know what Sergeant Shriver was doing. But I loved hearing these actors speak. I'm going to tell you today, later, what it is, the way that actors speak, that will allow you to copy the way they are speaking. I came back from Los Angeles in the early 90s, and I got a job downtown Vancouver working with actors. I got a job at their union office. Lots of movies are made in Vancouver, and I worked downtown in their office. Of no value to you until in 1997. I got a phone call from an American producer who was in Vancouver to make a movie. I'd worked with this man many times. My job was to work with him and help him do his movie in the best, easiest way. I answered the phone and he said, "Andy, we have a problem. We can't hire any of your actors because they're speaking Canadian." I said, "Robert, what are you talking about? What do you mean Canadian?" He said, "I can't tell you what it is, but they're doing something that is not pleasing to our ear." I think I remember him saying they're speaking too fast. Their words are clumped. Their words are clipped, and we're not comfortable. We don't like the way they talk. It's different. It's not Los Angeles talking. He said, "Andy, you speak American. You're from San Francisco. You speak American. You need to try and figure out how you're doing." So I thought, what is he asking me to do? I need to try and think about what I'm doing. How am I talking? So I thought right away, my father and I speak exactly the same way. My dad is from San Francisco, grew up there, was born there, and when I'm at his house and the phone rings and we answer the phone, nobody can tell the difference. So I realized that he and I must be speaking in exactly the same way. Still no relevance to you. So I sat with my father, and we realized that when we talked, we were putting our tongue and lips in one of 9 positions to push out air and make every word have a long vowel. People in San Francisco seemed to me, because I was doing it, we were talking in longer words. Some of you may know that there's a part of the United States called the South, Mississippi, Georgia, Alabama, Arkansas, where they kind of talk like this. Now, I was actually born in North Carolina, and if I'd stay there, I'd be talking like this. They kind of talk with kind of long words, but it's different from San Francisco. But both parts of the country have very long words. It just happens that in San Francisco, we get into some kind of a position before we say a word. So I knew enough to realize that I was putting my mouth in one of 9 positions. When I said a word that began with a B, I didn't say best, I went best. I didn't say why, I went why. I didn't say fast, I went fast. That's the way I was talking. I was making my words longer. Again, no connection with you. So I thought, okay, there are 9 different positions. Every word that begins with an A, E, I, O, U, I go like this. Ask. Often. For the B, M, and P, I went like this. Best. Mention. Patiently. For the D, J, N, and T, I'm skipping a few. Let's try the D, J, N, and T. I put my tongue above my top teeth, like this. Doesn't. Time. Look how long that word is. Time. The F and V. Fast. Very. For the W was why. For the TH was that. Not that, but that. So I knew enough to go to my boss and say, Richard, I think I can teach these actors how to speak American. He said, go ahead. If you can do something to help them get work, sounds great, go ahead. So I began to teach. And in the second week, there was another knock on the door. And I looked over and I saw a lovely black man from West Africa at the door. I knew him. I said, yes, Francis. He said, Andy, want to come to your class? In a very heavy, strong accent. I remember standing there and thinking, no way. Absolutely no way. I don't know what to do with this man. I wouldn't know at all what to do. But it was a very cold day in Vancouver. It doesn't usually get this cold, but it was really cold. And I knew Francis had nothing to do this day. This was a 2-hour class. I thought, he has nothing better to do. I will let him sit in the class just to keep him warm. He was a lovely man. I had a seat. I said, Francis, have a seat. And what happened? He began to participate. And after a few days, his accent began to go away. So since that time, I have taught over 7,000 people like Francis, like actors in Vancouver. I had the opportunity to work with Jackie Chan for a very short time on his movie, The Forbidden Kingdom. I worked with Jackie for only a half an hour, believe it or not, but I did work with Li Bingbing and Crystal Fei Lu and the great Emperor Wang Dexin on this movie. I had a total of 3 weeks working time with these actors. If you rent the movie in English, I hope you will see how beautifully they are speaking, how much more clearly they are speaking, thanks to what I'm going to teach you today. So that's the story. That's how I learned how to teach you accent reduction, by simply showing you how to position your tongue and lips. With this DVD that you've just received, you've also received another DVD. And that shows me teaching another student who speaks your language. It could be that you are speaking Cantonese, Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, Russian, Spanish, Arabic, Farsi, Thai, Filipino, French, I think about 15 or 20 different languages. You have received another DVD that shows me teaching for about 2.5 hours. When I am focusing on explaining to the student, you will see my face. When I am reading the PowerPoint presentation, the camera will go to that PowerPoint. And when the student is speaking, the camera goes to that student. So the PowerPoint that I'm going to use today on my computer is the same PowerPoint that you are going to see on that second DVD. I hope that second DVD is really helpful to you. Right now, I want you to say, maybe you freeze this DVD, put it on pause, and say the following words. My name is, and give your name, and I came to Canada or USA from, where did you come from, about how many years ago? Again, you will say, my name is Lou, and I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. If I have a bad accent, and I apologize, maybe I sound like this. My name is Lou. I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. It's a very bad accent. I don't mean to insult anybody, but that's the accent that I hear sometimes. At the end of the day, I'm going to show you how to do this. You're going to be able to do this. My name is Lou, and I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. I will then have you putting two words together. My name, open my mouth, is Lou, open my mouth, and I came to Canada from Hong Kong about 5 years ago. Notice how I'm using my hand. So you'll go from learning each position, saying one word at a time, to going to 2 words at a time. That's the way I'm going to teach you to speak. Try it again. I'll listen to you say it. I'll voice it, or I'll do it with my lips. Ready? Again, listen. My name is Lou. My name is your name. And I came to whatever the country is, Canada or US, from wherever it was about blah, blah years ago. Let's do it again. Ready? Good. I hope you can hear yourself, certainly hear your accent, and hopefully by the end of the day, by the end of your watching this DVD, you'll be able to do it with no accent. What is the K method? My method is called the Krieger or K method. I'm going to teach you, number one, to speak more slowly. Why? To give yourself time to put your tongue and lips in these 9 exact positions. There are actually 10, but we'll call them at the moment 9. All 26 letters of the alphabet are grouped into 9 positions. When you speak slowly and you get into position, it says you are able to speak every word with a long vowel, the magical part of this system. Speak slowly, get into position, and make every word have a long vowel. If you start working on this DVD and you start speaking in a totally different way, and somebody says to you, how did you do that? I want you to say to them, I learned how to make every word have a long vowel. Again, I call this magical, because it is in fact magical. The next slide says there are 5 steps. Number 1 is to speak slowly. Number 2 is to get into position. Number 3 is to use your hand to help you take in air. You're going to hold your hand like this in front of you, maybe about 9 inches. Bring it back and flick it forward. Take in air, number 3. Number 4 is force out air. And number 5 is to make every word have a long vowel. It says there are 9 alphabet positions. At the bottom there's a picture of all the letters of the alphabet, 26. But in fact there are only 9 groups of letters. When you say a word that begins with A, E, I, O, U, you open your mouth like this. And they're all done the same way. Every time you say a word that begins with A, E, I, O, U, you open your mouth like this. Answer. Often. In. Up. When you do a word that begins with B, M, and P, you close your lips. Best. Mention. Patient. When you do a word that begins with C, K, and G, you go like this. Can. Kick. Gone. When you do the D, J, N, and T, words that begin with D, J, N, and T, you put your tongue up at 45 degrees. Duck. Justice. Nice. Time. Look how I'm flicking my hand. I'm going to teach you how to do that in just a minute. Hold my hand like this, bring it towards me, and flick it. Duck. Justice. Nice. Time. For the F and V. Fast. Look at my teeth on my bottom lip. Very. For the H, open my mouth about 40%. Has. Hasn't. For the L, put my tongue under my top teeth. Long. Lucky. Lie. For the R, S, and Y, kind of a r, s, 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 y. Ran. Send. Yes. For the W, Y. And the other letter, called it the 10th, will be tip of tongue under here, this. Those are the 9 alphabet positions. Every time you say a word, you will need to get into position before you speak. The next slide shows a little baby crawling. Next to that picture is a little toddler trying to walk. Then there's another picture of a person walking and another picture of someone running. When you're a little baby, the only thing you do is crawl. It's very simple, very slow. Then you learn how to walk as a toddler. Then you learn how to walk like a normal person. And then you learn how to run. Crawling is very simple and very slow. I want you today to pretend like you're crawling. I want you to accept that you are crawling. I don't want you to try to run. And it has to do with when you say a word. If you say the word Y, I want you to do this. Make a little W, hold your hand in front of you at an angle. I'll show you more in a minute, and go like this. Y. Once you make the W, wait 1 second, and then move your hand. Look what I'm doing. Y. You cannot go Y. You can't go best. You can't go fast. You have to go Y. Best. Fast. You have to wait 1 second before you move your hand. If you try to do it too fast, you will not be successful. Every time you say a word, You must find the position, wait 1 second, and then move your hand. It says you can't run before you learn to crawl. Don't move your hand until you are in position. Don't move your hand until you're in position and then wait 1 second. Be content to do everything slowly. You will get faster as you learn how to do this. You actually will get to normal speed when you do everything that I teach you, but you will take less time in between words, and then it'll sound very normal. I'll explain that later. I'd like you to listen to President Kennedy, who was a great speaker, a great hero of mine. I love the way he talked. Here's what he said, or here's what it tells you to do. Listen to this speech by President Kennedy, speaking more slowly and with pauses. He uses positions. This man is speaking so beautifully that he must be putting his tongue and lips in positions to push out air and make every word have a long vowel, just as you are going to do today. He says, we observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning. I'd like you to listen to President Kennedy. I don't care if you understand exactly what he says, but I'd like you to listen to the pauses and the length of every word.
We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning, signifying renewal as well as change. For I have sworn before you and Almighty God the same solemn oath.
President Kennedy speaking these beautiful, long, elegant, majestic words. When you speak, I want you to think of the beautiful way that this man said his words. If you YouTube President Kennedy's inaugural address, you will see him, after about 2 minutes, using his hand, tapping his hand. We observe today not a victory of party, but a celebration of freedom, symbolizing an end as well as a beginning. You'll see him tapping to the left of the microphone. As he's standing up, you can see him tapping these words. You will use your hand the whole time you are speaking. The next slide says, watch how your mouth produces the words. If you are going to use a mirror or a television camera or just watching this DVD on your computer, on your DVD player, I want you to be aware that if you are looking at yourself, you must be watching what your tongue and lips do the whole time. Don't look away, don't look up, just watch what you're doing, to see what your lips, your tongue, and mouth are doing. I had the pleasure of teaching in the Philippines in 2004. I think I was there for 3 months. And I taught a company that had 150 employees. And at that time, I was making my first DVD. And I asked one of these lovely students to give a comment about her learning. And here's what she said. She said, I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. She said, I'm more confident now. I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. I want you to listen to this young lady speak.
I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood.
Every word has a long vowel. I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. I'm more confident because, now she missed because. Every word is perfect except the word because. She didn't say because, she said because. I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. I want you to listen and see if you can hear her accent on the word because. When we say the word because, if you just go like this, open your mouth a little and go because. I think it's about this long. What happens if I close my lips and I go because? I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood. Listen to the short version of the word because.
I'm more confident because I know that each word I'm saying can be clearly understood.
Every time you miss a position, we will hear your accent. If you make every position, we won't hear your accent. The next slide shows people talking with each other. You need to practice daily with a trusted friend or family member or co-worker. I recommend that you find somebody at home. When you get off this DVD today and you talk to someone, you say, the instructor told me that I must speak to you every day slowly. You need to practice every day for 2 minutes. That's all I ask. 2 minutes with somebody who you trust, who will not judge you, who will not be negative, but will support you. If you practice every day for a while at home, you then go to work. Maybe after the first week or even the next day. You find somebody at work who you feel comfortable with, who you feel comfortable talking to. And you say, when we have coffee, may I please speak to you in my new way? I want to try and practice speaking more clearly every day before I start talking to our customer, before I start talking to our client. So if you practice at home and you go to work and feel comfortable speaking to someone, then perhaps you might say, you know what, I can answer this phone and start speaking this new way to this customer. I know I can do it. I feel very comfortable doing it, and I know you will be successful. I want you to look at page 5 of the sheet that I sent you, and at the top of page 5 it says, look at this key, K-E-Y. The key, as you know, opens a door. I want this key to open information for you. The key has about 15 or 20 different things that you can do every day. Think about the 5 main steps. Think about the other additional helpers. Start talking to someone at work. Start talking to a stranger. Just do it. Just go into a store and order something in this new way. If you're standing at the bus stop and you feel comfortable, start talking to someone in this new way. In fact, say to your best friend, I'm going to always speak to you in this new way. Use the key every day to help you study, think about the material you have learned up till now. So how do I learn to speak without an accent? It says we all speak too fast. In your own language, if it's Mandarin, Cantonese, Spanish, Russian, Japanese, Korean, all of you speak your own language so fast. When you speak English, you also speak fast. There is no time in any of your languages or when you speak English that you would ever think about putting your tongue or lips in some kind of position. You just don't do it. This is a weird thing to say, but my feeling is that only people in San Francisco and Los Angeles happen to use their mouth to push out air to make every word have a long vowel. That's the way we speak. So you need to speak this new way. I want you to take a minute, and I want you to introduce yourself to me in your own native language. I want you to say in Cantonese or Mandarin or Spanish or Japanese or Korean or whatever the language is. My name is whatever your name is, and I came to my country from wherever about how many years ago. Do it in Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever right now. Do it. Whatever the language is, I'm sure you spoke so fast, and you did not at any time think about putting your tongue or lips in some kind of position. You just didn't do it. There's a picture of a man shooting a submachine gun. Some of you can speak just as fast as that submachine gun. You have to change the way you're speaking. You have to speak much more slowly. To show you how to speak by using these positions, I want to teach you how to speak 3 words of French. If I say to you, je parle français, what did I say? Je parle français. You may have heard an A sound, but I don't think you understood anything else. In fact, I said, je parle français. Je means I. Parle, like parliament, means speak, and français means French. So if I do it slowly, je parle français. I want you to do that with me. Open your mouth about this much and go. Don't do anything with your lips. Je, close your lips. Look how relaxed my lips are. Parle français. Do it. Tap your hand. Ready? Je, close your lips. Parle français. Let's do it together. Again, open your mouth a little. Ready? Je parle français. You just said it. You said 3 words in French, I'm sure, very beautifully, very clearly. If you said it fast, je parle français, it wouldn't be as clear at all. You wouldn't understand anything that I've said. So you need, just like you've learned how to speak 3 words of French, how do we say I speak French in English? Here's what you do. You don't say I speak French. You go like this. Open your mouth to 60%. I, almost close your mouth. Speak, make an F. French. Let's do it together. Open your mouth. I speak French. Look how much trouble and effort it was to say that. You didn't say, I speak French. You went, I speak French. That took a lot of time to say those 3 words because you needed to open your mouth. I speak French. And your hand needed to move. It takes time to move the hand. Remember I said you can't move your hand until you wait 1 second. That also takes time. Speaking this way is like singing. It's like music. In music, every note is exact. There are 8 basic notes. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Every note must be exact in order for the song to be perfect. If you go to a karaoke bar and you hear someone singing, you know it's beautiful, it's perfect. You hear a song on a radio, you know it's perfect, because every note is perfect. If you go to a karaoke bar and someone doesn't know how to sing, you almost want to cover your ears. So every note must be perfect when someone sings. Every position that you make, think of it as a note, must be perfect. So, when you speak, you must be sure that every word has an exact position, and you will have no accent. It says in music there are rests. Dum, bum, 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 bum. There are pauses in between those notes. In speaking, there are pauses after each word or every two words. When I saw what happened, I laughed. When I saw what happened, I laughed. Lots of pauses in between words. Number one, you must speak more slowly. Your ESL teacher may have said to you, don't speak slow, speak fast. Make sure that you get every word said, because if you try to speak more slowly, someone will interrupt you. Don't listen to your ESL teacher. You need to speak more slowly. It is so, so important. I may time myself today using a stopwatch. If I hold the stopwatch and time myself, not how fast I can say a sentence, but how slowly I can speak. How slowly I can speak. When you speak more slowly, you give yourself time to put your tongue and lips in the exact digital position. That's number two. Number one is to speak more slowly. Number two is to give yourself time to put your tongue and lips in the exact digital position. Digital means exact. I'm looking at a computer. I'm looking at a camera. Both are digital. My watch, the time is probably not exactly the same as the computer because it's not digital. Every position that I show you, like the B, here's the B. Best. If you go like this, no good. Go like this. Best. No good. Go like this. Best. If you open your mouth at the last minute, best. No good. You must keep it together and go best. When you do Y, you can't go Y. You have to go, no. Look how relaxed I am. Y. If I do fast, can I do this? No. Must be very relaxed. Top teeth on bottom lip. Fast. Fast. Every position must be digital. Here's the A-E-I-O-U. Here's the D. Here's the L. Here's the R. Here's the S. Here's the Y. Every position must be perfect. Can't be slightly or almost, it must be exact. Digital means exact. You need to hold the positions. Some of these positions are very hard, like this. That's hard. How long can you hold this? If you're a Filipino, you have a lot of trouble, or a Hindi, doing this. Even putting the D up there is hard. Putting the B together is hard. So once you decide to say a word, try to hold the word, hold the position. Wait. Better. Better. Look how relaxed my lips are. Faster. Faster. Don't go fast. Go fast. Your mouth should be relaxed the whole time. Take your hand and run your hands over your face for a minute. Totally, totally relax. I'd like you to take your hand, make it very tense. Can you do that? Very tense. Oh, that hurts. Now just relax. I want you to hold your hand in front of you about, I don't know, is that a foot? I want it to be at 45 degrees, like this. I want you to bring it back, and that's what you're going to do in just a few minutes. But your hand should be relaxed the whole time. So you bring it back, a little above my ear, and you whack it. You whack it. Your hand snaps. Look. Snap. Snap. Talk more about the hand in a minute. So number 1 was to speak more slowly. Number 2 is to get into position. Number 3, well, before I do that, let's see what it says here. Every word requires that you put your tongue and lips in an exact position before you say even one word. So if I say the word why, I have to do this. Why. If I say the word 5, I do this. 5. If I say the word mention, I do this. Mention. As. As. Every word requires that you put your tongue and lips in an exact position before you say even one word. It's what accent reduction is. You don't just talk. You make sure that you're in some position and you say a word. In a little while, I'm going to show you how to say 2 words, but you'll start off by saying 1. I want to show you 3 examples. I picked 3 different letters of the alphabet, 3 groups of letters, and I want to show you what you do to say a word that begins with those letters. The first example is the B, M, and P. Every time for the rest of your life, when you say a word that begins with B, M, or P, you close your lips. Here are the words. Best. Mention. Patient. Look how long the words are. Best. Mention. Patient. How long the words are. With those 3 words, there will now be a sentence. And here's the sentence. Banks make huge profits. Do it again. Banks make huge profits. Every word was long. I had a position for every word. I will teach you how to say 1 word at a time, and then I will show you how to put 2 words together. Every sentence has a clump, or a way to put the words together. Here's the way this sentence is said. Banks make huge profits. Do it again. Look at my lips. Banks make huge profits. I went from 1 word. Banks make huge profits. Notice how I didn't move my hand until I was in position, plus waiting 1 second. What's the next example? Words that begin with F and V. Every time for the rest of your life. When you say a word that begins with F and V, F or V, you put your top teeth on your bottom lip. It says, top teeth on bottom lip. Find the exact comfortable position. Don't do this, but how about this? Look how relaxed my bottom lip is. Fast. Very. Is it fast? Very? No. I waited. Relax. Fast. Very. Look how my hand sort of stays out there. Fast. Like the word is going off my hand. I'll explain more of that in just a few minutes. Here's the sentence. Open my mouth for I. Look what I do for I. My mouth is open 60%. I can. Close my lips for B. B, make a V. Very fast. I'll do it again. Look. I can be very fast. We put these together. I can be very fast. I did it. Sounded very normal. Open mouth. I can be very fast. Last example, the W. It says make a round kissing position. Every time you say a word that begins with a W, you want to do this. I could put a little straw in here. Make a little hole. When I do the W, we'll put the straw in there. Want. Why. Word. Work. Look how I made the W first. Look. Want. Why. Word. Work. Here's the sentence. One word at a time. When. And then look at that N. I'll show you how to make that N. When. Will. My tongue went behind my top teeth. Will. Here's we. We. Open mouth. Ever. Remember, for a word that begins with a vowel, open my mouth. Ever. Make a W. Win. When I did the N, I went n. Win. Here's the second line. When will we ever win? Here's the third line. When will we ever win? I put three words together. That is very, very hard. And I actually don't recommend that you try to speak three words. Try to avoid, at least in the beginning, speaking three words. Only speak one or two words at a time. Let's try it again. When will we ever win? If it sounds like that, congratulations. If it doesn't, and you had trouble, especially with the ever, don't worry about it. Two words will work. How would I do it? Only two words? When will we ever win? Or when will we ever win? Those were three examples. Remember, every time you say a word, you must be in some position before you say that word. We're going through the 5 steps. Number 1 was to speak more slowly. Number 2, that gives you time to get into one of the 9 or 10 positions. Whatever they are. Number 3, take in air. So as your hand should be out in front about this much, at an angle. You can't see it, but my elbow is at an angle. My hand is in front of me at 45 degrees. It's not straight up. It's not like this. It's at an angle, 45 degrees, like that. 45 is so important. So as you bring your hand up, it's very gentle. You can't hear it. You hardly feel it. Air comes in. You're taking in air. That's number 3. Number 4, there's a picture of a cloud blowing out air. So it says, number 4, force out air on each word to hit the beginning of each word. So here's what it does. Fast. Fast. Air is coming out. Air came in. Air goes out. Isn't this weird? Speaking by taking in air and forcing out air is very weird. Number 5, it says, make every word have a long vowel. You tell that special someone in your life, I am speaking without my accent because I learned how to make every word have a long vowel. Amazing. It says here the magic of the system. It is in fact magic. You imagine you're going to be speaking in a short time without your accent. That's magic. I'm happy that I can teach it to you. I'm happy that I grew up in San Francisco. I'm happy that my father talks like I do. I'm happy that that boy in Ethiopia told me to speak more slowly. I'm happy that that American producer told me he didn't want to listen to Canadians. I'm happy that Francis appeared at the door. All those things came together to allow me to teach you, and it's a wonderful job to have. It says, last part, every word has a vowel sound. You're going to make that vowel long. Here are the first words we're going to work on. The words are, I'm going to say them slowly. Canada, can, answer. Often, basically, time. Has, face, lunch. Yes, why, this. I'll say them again. Canada, can. Answer, often. Basically, time. Has. Face. Lunch. Yes. Why? This. If I were teaching you in a private class, I would have you do the following. Before you say Canada, open your mouth and go. Open 10%, 15%. Canada. Open your mouth, same position for can. Can. Open your mouth. Can. For answer, you have to open your mouth much more. Look, about 60%. Answer. Notice I only say the word when my hand hits the 45-degree position. Answer. Answer. Always the same place. Look, right there. Open. Answer. So I start here and I go, only say the word, there. Answer. Next word. Look at my mouth. I open to 60%. Often. Often. How about basically? Look what I do. Basically. Basically. For time, tip of my tongue goes above my teeth at 45 degrees. Up there. My mouth is almost closed. No, just a little. Not this, but almost closed. Time. Remember we said number 5, every word has to have a long vowel. Make sure you have a long vowel. Time. Time. Next word. 40% open. Has. Has. Do it again. Has. How about face? Face. Make the F. Face. Do I go face? No, I wait till my hand gets back here. Look right here. Face. Face. How about lunch? Mouth is almost closed, only open 5%. Lunch. Lunch. How about yes? Yes. Do it again. Yes. How about why? Why? Do it again. Make your W. Wait. Wait that 1 second. Why? How about this? This. This. Let's do them again. Ready for Canada? Canada. Ready for can? Can. Ready for answer? Open much more. Ready? Answer. Ready for often? Open your mouth. Often. How about basically? Close your lips. Basically. Do it again. Basically. Ready for time? T-I-M-E. Ready? Time. Time. The long vowel makes this happen. Here's has. Open your mouth for has. Ready? Has. You feel whatever 40% is. Has. Here's 100. Here's 60. Here's 40. Has. Ready for face. Face. If I do this, no good. So just on the top of my lip, for me. Everybody's different. Face. Ready for lunch. Tongue behind the top teeth. Ready? Relax. Lunch. Do it again. Lunch. How about yes? Yes. Do it again. Yes. How about Y? Make a little W. Y. Y. Make a TH. This. Ready? This. Look how slowly I said it. This. Slower is better. One more time. This. Don't let your bottom lip touch your tongue. This. No. A little separation. This. You've done a wonderful job. You've said all those words, I hope clearly. Why don't you try it one more time? How can you do this? You did it fast. Say it after me. Canada can answer. Old way, ready? Canada can answer. Often, basically, time. Do it. Has faced lunch. Yes, why this? If you listen to yourself, even if you can't hear your accent, which I know you can, you know that you never made any position to say these words. All of a sudden, you need to make positions. Good job. It says here, like fire out of a dragon's mouth. When you say each word, feel like the word is coming out of your mouth, like fire coming out of a dragon's mouth, or like a bullet shooting out of a gun. Take your hand, go like this. Cup it like this and just go, shoo, shoo, fire, shoo, shoo. So every time you say a word, so even flick your hand. What am I doing here? Hold it like this and just flick it. Turn it back and wait, flick it. Your hand should snap to express that power. Why doesn't he try harder? Let's do it again. Why? Why? Tongue up there for doesn't. Doesn't he try harder? Doesn't matter what the words are. Just to see what you're doing, do flick your hand.